Now, if you're someone that is very ambitious with your self-improvement goals, but you find yourself struggling to hit the targets you set for yourself, and you end up just burning out to the point where you end up doing nothing for long periods of time, and you're just not as productive as you want to be, this concept might just be music to your ears. Now, it's one of these concepts that sounds so good on the surface. It's like, oh, all you need to do is work 2 hours a day. It sounds great, right? And, to a certain extent, it is as good as it sounds. But it's also quite difficult to implement, and that's why most people don't do it, right? But this concept is based around a book that I heard from Hamza called Essentialism. And I think this is a concept that if you can implement it in your life, it's going to do such wonders for you. And just to put into perspective, I'm going to tell you how I've tried to apply this to my life. Now, I made this realization probably about a year ago, right? And I still haven't implemented it properly to this day, which just shows you how difficult it is to implement, right? But I made this realization a year ago. I had exams coming up, right? And I was struggling to motivate myself to work. I wanted to be studying 6-8 hours a day, right? And I knew about this concept called deep work, which I'm sure you've heard, right? And it's basically just the concept of when you're studying or when you're doing any kind of work, you want to limit all your distractions and you want to maximize your productivity by getting into flow state and doing whatever you can to get yourself into that flow state. So for example, if you're sitting down and you're studying, right? If you're someone like me who's very productive when you wake up in the morning, I'm very productive in the morning. If I wake up early and I work out, I bath, 6:30 I'm done, I'm ready to study, I will study properly. If I start studying at 6:30, right? You get yourself studying at that time, right? You figure out the time that you work best at, and then you do that work in that time slot, right? I'm fresh, right? I haven't eaten, so I don't have that carb overload. I'm not lethargic, right? My phone is on silent, airplane mode. I put mine on do not disturb, so no notifications come in. My phone is away from me, it's not on the desk. There's minimal activity going on my desk. I've got my book and I've got my pen, my pencil and whatever, but there's minimal activity on my desk. That gets me into flow state, right? And the concept of deep work is that most people that sit down and they do work, I'll use studying since this is the prevailing example that I'm using here. A lot of people, you hear people that say, oh, I study 10 hours a day. And it's for those 10 hours, what a lot of studies show, and I think this applies in workplaces mostly, is that people work obviously 8 hours a day. But what the studies show is that they're not actually doing that much work for 8 hours, right? They're probably only working really hard for 2 hours, let's say, right? And the same thing applies to studying here, right? If I sit down and study for 2 hours, and I study and I'm focused, I'm doing deep work, right? I'm completely focused and it's deliberate. I'm not just reading over notes that don't make sense to me or that aren't useful. I'm doing questions that are going to apply, principles I'm going to apply in my exam, right? Those 2 hours that I study doing deep work are higher quality and I'm going to get more results than I could have gotten if I was studying 10 hours, but I was studying while I'm watching Netflix or whatever it is, right? That's the deep work, right? Now, going back to the concept that I wanted to tell you about that I found a year ago, right? I realized that I'm struggling because I think I've got long-term burnout from just studying for so long. I've been working really hard at school for so long and, just struggling with motivation. I was I'm not really doing much, right? But if I can just get myself, right? And this was my routine, right? It was, if I can get myself to go to sleep at 8 p.m., right? I wake up at 4 a.m., I do my workout and I bath, and by 6:30 I'm ready to study, right? From 6:30 to 8:30 I'm studying, 30-minute break, and then I'm studying from 9 to 11 a.m., right? And I do that. If I wake up, I work out, I do my normal things in the morning, I bath, and then I study, and I don't watch anything on my phone. I don't consume any kind of content, right? If I can just get that morning period right, and from 11 a.m. until the end of the day, I can do whatever the hell I want. If I can do that every single day, and I think at this period I had 2 weeks. I was if I can do that every single day for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be more than prepared for my exams, right? Because I'm doing that deep work and it's 4 hours. It's just 4 hours, right? I've convinced myself it's just until 11 a.m. Surely you can wake up, right? Obviously you need to go to sleep. I need to go to sleep at 8. Surely, I was telling myself, surely you can wake up at 4, do your workout and everything, and you can study. Just stay focused, you don't consume any kind of content on your phone until 11 a.m. And then from 11 a.m. until the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. I was pleading with myself. I was surely you can do that, right? And that's a concept that if you can implement that kind of thing in your life, it will do wonders for you, right? Because what matters? Those high quality flow state, deep work sessions, right? Now, the reason I haven't been able to implement it for the last year, or the reason I haven't implemented it, I guess, is because I have this, like most people who are quite like ambitious with their goals, is that it's difficult to like humble yourself, right? If you're someone that's been working out for so long, you've been working out, you've been doing like 1.5 hour workouts like 6 days a week, and you just stop working out altogether. It's difficult to convince that kind of person to be like, okay, why don't you do 10 minutes of working out 5 days a week? Just do 10 minutes. Just wake up every day, do 10 minutes. Just do 10 minutes of push-ups. That's it, right? It's difficult to like convince yourself to be like, okay, I'll just do that, because it's like, well, I want to do like the whole workout, and then you don't end up doing the whole workout because it's difficult to get yourself up to do it. But if you were to look at it, it's like, if you're going to waste like 3 months not working out because you just can't convince yourself, right? You've done like zero minutes a day of working out on average over the 3 months. If you were to start doing like the 10 minutes a day, right? Even if you were to just do 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week, every week for those 2 months or for those 3 months, that would be a lot better than doing the zero that you're doing. But the thing is, you're not just going to stop at that 10 minutes, right? You'll do those 10 minutes for like 2 weeks. Then you increase it to 30 minutes, right? Then eventually you get up to 45 and you might get to an hour. And you're back on track. But you need to humble yourself. That's where the difficulty comes. It comes from humbling yourself, right? So that's one aspect of that. If you want to implement this into your life, you need to do that. The second aspect is something I've been banging on in the last couple of videos I've made, and I'm going to keep banging on it because I think it's so important, right? Going back to the essentialism thing, it's do the highest ROI activities in your life, right? Now, I made a video where I say you need to condense your goals down to, if you can get it to one goal, you're going to be golden, because then you just focus on that one goal every single day, right? But, 3 at max, right? 3 goals max. Right, those activities that you have, you need to pick the highest ROI activities that you have. So like I said, for studying, for me, my one is studying. The most important thing is that I understand the principles. Now, I obviously need to do some studying, like reading the notes and everything, but then the most important thing is questions. Like, I need to do questions so I can understand the principles and how they applied, right? That's one thing, right? Now I need to focus on doing that. I need to make sure I do that consistently in preparation for exams. Then my second one would be about YouTube now. What's the most important thing for me to grow my YouTube channel? If I could only do one thing, right, for the next year or so, that's going to give me the biggest results. What's it going to be? Recording videos, right? So I just need to make sure I get to recording videos. That's the most important thing, right? And then my third one would be, say, gym. What's the most important thing when it comes to gym? I mean, there's obviously like things like diet and gym, but like diet is you're eating. You eat every day. Just eat properly, right? And that just leaves the one aspect, which is gym. Just make sure you get to gymming every time that you've planned on gymming. Like, I gym 5 days a week. I just need to show up for those workouts and do them properly. The most important thing is just look at your highest ROI activities and focus on those, right? Those are the important things that you need to do that are going to get you. It's the Pareto principle, right? 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts, right? So of everything that you do, what is that 20%, right? And I want you to do that for your 3 goals that you've set out. Focus on that 20% and make sure you do that, right? Now, I forgot what the topic of the video was, to be honest. I've gone on so many tangents. But yeah, if you can implement the most important things into your routine and you just focus on doing those, like, everything else doesn't matter, right? Oh, I remember the title. It's just, if you only need to work for 2 hours a day. Whatever it is you're doing, you only need to work for 2 hours a day. If you're trying to start a YouTube channel, again, it's all cool going and searching up all these little things. Oh, what's the best channel banner I can do? Even like thumbnails, to be honest. Like, I'm not a fan of like editing and like thumbnails, and I'm going to see how that's going to work out for me. Obviously, I haven't been successful yet, but I think there's a way to be successful without them. But even things like that, it's like, if you're starting out, you don't need to go and like, oh, I'm waiting to get my laptop so I can do the highest quality editing I can do. Then I need to save up for this app and everything. It's like, bro, what kind of videos do you want to make? What do you need to just make those videos? Like, for me, it's quite simple. I'm talking to the camera, so I don't need anything. I'm using my phone right now. I've invested in a mic, but to be honest, I was using my earphones before I got this mic. Even without the earphones, you'd be fine, right? But the most important thing is getting down and recording the videos. Stop like flustering yourself with all these extra things. It's like, oh, gymming, like, oh, how do I figure out how many calories I need to eat? What's the perfect gym routine? Oh, what's the perfect time to work out? Oh, should I be taking creatine or not? Should I take supplements? It's like, bro, if you're a beginner, just go on YouTube, search like a 30-minute workout that you can do it three times a week, and then you do that. Just do that for 3 months. Do that for 3 months, you'll see such great results. Then obviously as time passes, you do better, or you make it more optimal, let's say. But it's like, what's the most important thing you need to do? And this applies to everything, bro. Like absolutely everything. And yeah, that's basically the video. I hope I've gotten through to you like the point I'm trying to make. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to join the Self-Improvement Brotherhood. And until next time, I'll see you boys.